agendas have actually got a good working relationship. They had tea last time. It went very well. We'll wait to see how it goes today, John.
I'll take it, Max. It sounds like the day is only going to get even more interesting. Thank you for all of your reporting for us from London. So as we await the House Intelligence Committee's report on impeachment today, House Republicans already releasing a 123-page prebuttal that does not address any of the incriminating evidence against President Trump. John Avlon has our reality check. John, what does it say?
Well, it turns out that Donald Trump has been teasing his party's impeachment strategy for quite a while.
What you're seeing and what you're reading is not what's happening.
Because we've gotten the first look at the GOP impeachment defense, and it is essentially denial. The president did nothing wrong. That's despite the clear fact pattern that emerged after 2 weeks of testimony from Trump staffers. And here's how the New York Times summed up the 123-page report. Republicans did not concede a single point of wrongdoing or hint of misbehavior by the president. Not surprisingly, the president tweeted his thanks out to Republicans, saying, quote, "I read the Republicans' report on the impeachment hoax. Great job. Can we go to the Supreme Court to stop?" The answer is no, Mr. President. But of course the president's pleased with the Republicans because they seem to be taking dictation from the White House, which nonsensically declared earlier that Ambassador Sondland's testimony completely exonerated the president. In fact, here's what Sondland said.
Was there a quid pro quo? The answer is yes.
And how about the idea that Trump was just motivated by concern about corruption in Ukraine?
The president only cares about big stuff. He meant big stuff that benefits the president, like the Biden investigation.
But if the Republican strategy is going to be a total denial of testimony, then we got an even bigger problem on our hands. Now, their goal is presumably to confuse folks into saying, well, Democrats and Republicans can't agree, so I guess we'll just never know what happened. But that's a moral equivalence that just doesn't fit the facts. That's picking Trump over the truth. Now, I would have expected Republicans to say something like, what the president did was wrong. We wouldn't want a Democratic president doing it, but it doesn't rise to the level of impeachment and removal, especially less than a year out from an election. And that would be kind of like what Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein said about Bill Clinton's behavior. She said it was immoral, deplorable, indefensible, but arguing that censure was a more appropriate punishment than impeachment. Instead, we're getting a complete refusal to face facts out of deference to the president's reality distortion field. And I would be so happy to hear just one Republican apply the same standard they did during the Clinton years. Like this from then Congressman Richard Burr. "I do not believe we can ignore the facts," he said, "or disregard the Constitution so that the president can be placed above the law." Or how about this?
This business of high crimes and misdemeanors goes to the question of whether or not the person serving as president of the United States put their own interests, their personal interests, ahead of public service.
That is indeed the question, and that would be Mike Pence back in 2008. But apparently where you stand is a matter of where you sit. There is a cost to this epidemic of situational ethics because we're sowing the seeds for a broader embrace of unreality. Take a look at this. 53% of Republicans say that Donald Trump is a better president than Abraham Lincoln. Now, on the one hand, I don't even know what to do with that, except to say that we need remedial American history ASAP. But I'm guessing it's more a reflection of kind of a reflexive know-nothing teamism. That's dangerous in a democracy that depends upon being able to reason together. Denying facts, ditching history, abandoning principles, all out of fealty to one person in power, is leading Republicans towards something George Orwell once warned us about. The party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command. And that's your reality check.
You know, John, it does seem as if sometimes the president is reading out of 1984, quoting directly for it, unironically at times.
Watch out. Wake up.
John, thank you very much. Well, she has long been one of the most mysterious figures in the White House. First Lady Melania Trump. Now a new biography reveals her thoughts on her family, her politics,